Hello! Welcome to another Top Tips Tuesday for Back to Hours, right on your sofa. This week we're learning some makeup tips. I love a bit of makeup, me. You probably don't realise, but I'm actually a 48-year-old man from Stoke. Yeah. So here's Viv Blackledge with the tips.
Top Tips Tuesday, tell us how you do it your way. If you're a builder or a painter, a singer or a queen, play chess, make a dress, or something in between. It's Top Tips Tuesday, show us how you do it your way.
Okay, let's get started. What I do is make a mark here where I want my flick to end and then move it in. So what I'll do is use a pencil to position it. The reason that I think about where I'm going to end the flick first is because your eyes move. So if I look straight into the mirror and think about where I want the end of the flick to be, so it might be there. If I then do that, you can see that the dot moves. Looking into the mirror straight on is really helpful, and you can see where it would be on both sides as well. I'd also just say if you've got one side that's easier than the other for you to do, start on the side that's hardest and then you can match it on the side that's easier to do. So I'm right-handed, it's generally the easiest side for me to do. So I've got my dot here, I know that's where I want it to end, and I'm just going to close my eye and do a little line down there to roughly where I'm going to want it to meet my eyelashes. Another quite important part of getting the flick right is going up from your eye here. So the shape, if you go too far out, you're going to end up pulling the shape of your eye down. Whereas if you take this line from the bottom corner of your lashes and just lift it up, like you can see how much my skin's moving just by doing this. It just helps you with the shape. So you want it to be a lifting flick. So I kind of got an idea of what shape that's going to be. What I would generally do next is then get a liquid eyeliner, maybe the big one though, and I take it right from the inner corner of my eye out to the outside. So this is quite a long felt tip liner. I just find that easier to use. Obviously you can use whatever you like. There's lots of different kinds of like wet eyeliners, and this one I just think is quite easy to control. So I'll look down into the mirror, I think you can see the lash line a bit better that way, and I just lay the liner across my lash line using the length of the felt tip. And I can see where I want it to end, so I'm going to take it out there, and now I can close my eye because I know where it's going, and just really carefully join up all those lines. It feels quite strange doing this after not really wearing a lot of makeup during lockdown, but so that is quite a rough flick. I would say if you get to this point and you're like thinking, oh God, it's all going a bit wrong, it's amazing what putting on some mascara will do to balance all of that out. So I think if I look back in the mirror, there's quite a disjoint here between the big part and the thinner part. So I just lay that on again, just to thicken that part out. If you're going to be putting on false eyelashes as well, you want to bring this line a bit further down, otherwise you'll see where the lashes end. And try, as my mum would say, not to gild the lily and overdo it. So I'm now going to show you how to tie them up and make them match as much as possible. These aren't too bad, but to me, this side now looks thicker than that side. And I don't want to risk making that bigger because we all know once you start trying to make that one bigger, you're then going to have to make this one bigger, and that's when you end up like Amy Winehouse, so I usually think it's easy to try and match the smaller one, and that comes from a lot of doing the opposite and now realising that that's better. So I've just got a bit of eye makeup remover, and I've got a pointy, what's this called, a cotton bud. So again, I'm just going to look at the line in the mirror. So I think that one's quite smooth, and this one maybe comes up a bit more than I really want it to. You can see it kind of like is disappearing into my skin a little bit there. So hopefully this will do it nice and cleanly. It's just a bit of makeup remover just on the edges, almost like you've just done with the eyeliner itself. Just tidy up the edge a bit. Always finish with your eyelashes. It makes such a difference. If they are a bit wonky, getting your eyelashes on makes such a difference. So you can curl them if you want to. That always helps make your eyes look a bit bigger. Or if you don't want to, that's fine. Some people are terrified of these. Right, I'm going to try and put this on without making too much of a mess. The easiest way that I found to do that is to look down into a mirror. And hopefully I won't make too much of a mess. I've actually done quite a good job of not making too much of a mess there, which makes a change. But what you can do, if you do get a blob, so I quite often get a blob like in the corner of my eye there. If you get a dry spoolie brush, like mascara brush, you can pick these up anywhere really, like Amazon, Home Bargains, anywhere. Nice and cheap, you just use that and it'll just flick off any bits of mascara that you've got. So I quite often get one there. You can just take it in there and it'll just flick it off. And there we go, 2 nearly matching flicks.
Oh, thanks for that, Viv. What do you reckon, lads? Rude. Join us next week for more top tips.